So, what do we know? Shayla, go. What's happening in the country with Roe versus Wade?
There was a leak from the Supreme Court to Politico of a draft, a majority draft from Justice Alito that the Supreme Court is probably going to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Suck it.
It's unbelievable.
Awesome.
Unbelievable.
So that would make abortion bannable at the state level through all stages.
Right. It would return the authority to the states to decide the question of abortion. Correct?
Yeah, that's
if
right.
That happens.
That's correct.
And what's the reaction?
Insanity.
Insanity. There's so much to say about this, and I feel like I'm in a dream. Have you ever had those dreams where you're trying to move but you can't because it's through quicksand?
Yeah.
And this should just be a slam dunk, and we can't even have an authentic, honest conversation about it because of people like Elizabeth Warren. I thought it'd be great to look at what she said in response to this and just to see whether or not there's sense behind her words.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Is that something you could pull up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We could also chat for a bit until you find it.
Well, I'm just going to drag and drop it and see what happens.
We're going to play it.
Right,
here we go. Live
Let's
television.
do it. Listen to these words carefully.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
I am angry.
She's angry.
Because we have reached the culmination of what Republicans have been fighting for, angling for decades now, and we are going to fight back. I am angry because of who will pay the price for this. It will not be wealthy women. Wealthy women can get on an airplane. They can fly to another state. They can fly to another country. They can get the protection they need.
Protection.
This will fall on the poorest women in our country. This will fall on those who have been raped. This will fall on mothers who are already struggling to work 3 jobs to be able to support the children they
She's
have.
nuts.
Well, I am here because I am angry, and I am here because the United States Congress can change all of this. Angry, but committed. Understand this.
Understand this. Here we go.
I have seen the world where abortion is illegal.
Oh, God have mercy. What does that look like?
We are not going back.
Oh, bless her. Bless her.
Not ever. No. So say it with me. We are not going back. We are not.
Yes, you are,
ever.
sweetheart.
What a word.
Not ever. Not ever. Never.
Oh my gosh. Here's the scariest thing in the world about that. Either you recognize that she's insane, morally and intellectually, or that makes sense to you. That's what terrifies me, that there is an overwhelmingly large group of people for whom what she just said actually makes sense. And then there's a group of people who understand that was sheer idiocy, beyond the pale. I wish I had the words. I don't have the words to describe the idiocy that was, but we should look at her words.
Yeah.
That's the ground for beginning to understand there are 2 divided camps here with an ever-expanding chasm between them.
An ever-expanding chasm between them, and not only because we're using words differently, but because one side is believing lies and the other isn't. If you think it's okay for big, strong people to slaughter little, weak, innocent people, you're a bad person.
Absolutely. But reprehensible. Evil even.
Yeah.
Evil to believe that that's an okay thing, much less that it's a right, much less that it's a thing that's
Healthcare.
an advancement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, healthcare. I mean, where do we start? Where do we start with the abuse of speech just in that little clip? Not to mention the entire movement.
I think abortion.
Let's take the word abortion.
The word abortion is problematic.
Very, very. It literally means, if you want to be fair to both sides, I think you can say the abortion is the willful termination of the fetus in the womb.
Even the word termination, it stops. It willfully stops it. I think we should continue
Willfully
to
ends.
use ugly words for ugly behavior.
Well, de facto, it's murder.
Yeah.
De
Well, is
facto.
it? It's not. I think murder is more of a legal term. So maybe it
what's
will
the
be
word?
considered.
What-
well,
what's-
slaughter,
Slaughter.
killing. Like
But
this
slaughter
is
and
what
killing
it
of
is.
an innocent person
Yes.
is murder de facto, and that's legal. But it's also
Yeah,
moral.
sure. Okay.
It's also moral, as opposed to killing in battle,
Fair enough.
which
yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
So there is a difference. But what does the word mean? I was trying to be fair to both sides. You say, listen, can somebody who is pro-abortion say that it's the willful termination of a life in the womb? Can they say that? Can they admit that?
I think so.
They can't not say that.
No.
Or do they still say that's not a life?
Again, I think that logic can only grow within soil. And it doesn't seem like there's much soil in the brains of people
Yeah.
who are addicts or who have willfully believed lies. So I
right.
don't even know if
That's probably
some
true.
of these folks like Elizabeth Warren are interested in logic.
Yeah. There's no ground. There's no ground. I mentioned on this show before, I think, in the Atlanta Botanical Gardens, they had this display with all these hanging trees, and they were all cut off at the roots and in the air.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they had no roots. And it reminds me of what you just said. And it's a wonderful example of people like Elizabeth Warren and anybody who can say something like, abortion is healthcare. Neither one of those terms are understood by the moral idiot who says abortion is healthcare. It's mind-numbing. And I think I would get in trouble for saying what I just said, but I don't care about that. I care about whether or not it's true. Abortion is healthcare. The absurdity and the insanity and the immorality in that statement is so far beyond my ability to comprehend. And I wish I weren't the only, I wish we weren't the only ones.
And what's funny is I threw up a short today, like a little video where she was saying that. And for a moment I thought, well, what if I put like a slaughtered fetus at the end of this video? But YouTube would ban me.
Yes.
And fair enough. I mean, they have standards. They don't want to present violence. But the same people would also say that abortion isn't violent. So it's contradictory. You can't put up images of violence. However, abortion isn't violence. It's healthcare and ought to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Does
anyone say
nuts.
it's not violence?
What do you think Elizabeth Warren would say if you
I
said,
wonder.
don't you think it's a violent act? She would say something like, it's a violent act not to allow it, or some such
she would
nonsense.
say that. Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below letting us know what you thought about the video.